What's up guys, Kendall Arnold Outdoors here for KastKing today to do a little bit of a reel comparison. I'm going to compare two of my favorite reels that KastKing has come out with throughout the years. Starting off with the first one I ever owned, the original KastKing Royale Legend. And then we'll look at the KastKing Royale Legend Elite, a little revamped, newer version of a good old classic. These two reels are very similar in a lot of ways and very different in a lot of ways. As I said, this is the first generation Royale Legend. This is the first one that I had. It comes in at a 7:1 gear ratio, so it's a pretty moderate speed bait casting reel. This other one, the Royale Legend Elite, this is an 8.1:1 gear ratio, and the cool thing about the Royale Legend Elites is they come in different gear ratios. As you can see, this one is red. It's a different color than our old school favorite, and that's because all the Royale Legend Elites are color coded to their gear ratio. Usually people associate the color red with speed, so this is the fastest one of the lineup. Now there's three other colors for the lineup of Royale Legend Elites. There is a white one, and that one signifies that it is a slower gear ratio. It is a 5:1. If you have a bunch of them in your rod locker, you can instantaneously look at this one and know that it is a slower gear ratio. They also have a blue one that is a 6:1 gear ratio, a good in-between for all your really real needs, and then a black one that is a 7:1 gear ratio, similar to the good old Royale Legend. The original Royale Legend, the OG, comes in at just one gear ratio, a 7:1, and that is it. There was only one way you could get it. It was only in one gear ratio, and what you see is what you get. So let's talk about the components of each one of these reels. The original Royale Legend is a little bit different. It has a centrifugal brake system on the inside and 7 magnetic disc brakes. So you've got quite a bit of control going on inside of this reel. When you flip on over to the Royale Legend Elite, it's a little bit different. There are 5 magnetic discs inside of this one. However, opening it is a little bit different. They have this wing system on this reel so you don't lose your side plate. I, for one, have lost my side plate fishing before, way back in the day while I was fishing a tournament. I actually had a side plate pop off and hop in the water. That's one of the cool things about the Royale Legend Elites. The side plates don't actually come off all the way. They have a little wing system, which is pretty freaking cool. Now, as I said, they got the 5 magnetic disc brakes inside of it, which still leaves quite a bit of room for control. Now, I recently got inside of the drag system and looked at all the different carbon fiber aspects of it. As you can see in the ads, if you've seen them before on Amazon or on the KastKing website, you've seen that it talks about having a carbon fiber drag. Now, recently I got inside of them and looked at both of these reels, not only these two, but the rest of my KastKing lineup. And I've got to say, I was pretty impressed for the affordability that you're getting with both of these reels, both of them coming in at different price points, which we'll get to in a minute. I was pretty happy with what I saw on the inside. Now, one other cool thing that I didn't mention about the drag system is both of the star drags on these click. Some reels do, some reels don't. I really like to have that. It just gives me more of a confidence boost whenever I'm fighting a big fish. I know what my drag system is constantly doing. And whenever you have a reel that doesn't have a clicking drag system on it, it's kind of an iffy thing to me. Like, you don't really know exactly what's going on, at least for me. So having that little click, 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 click as you go along, fighting a big fish is a really nice asset to have. Now, while we're talking about the inside of these reels, let's talk about the ball bearings. The good old-fashioned, the OG Royale Legend has 12 ball bearings inside of it, which is really awesome. Back in the day, whenever this thing first came out, 12 ball bearings was quite a bit. This reel is extremely smooth because of that. Now, whenever you go and look at the more upgraded, the newer Royale Legend Elite, you will also see that it has 12 ball bearings. So they're both very similar in that regard. They're both extremely smooth. The more ball bearings a reel has, the smoother it's going to be. And I like the fact that both of these have quite a bit of bearings in them. This thing has lasted for 4 years with the exact same bearings in them, no upgrades, no anything, and it's been perfectly fine. Like I said, I just took this thing apart the other day and did some maintenance on it. The first time I've ever done maintenance on it, and I was surprised to see how well everything stood up after not being cleaned for the past 4 years. I did the exact same thing with the Royale Legend Elite. I went through it, cleaned everything up, lubed it, greased it up, made it all nice, just the way it was the day that I got it. and I was fairly impressed. Everything was as it should be on the inside. Those bearings were still nice and smooth. I checked them all. I went through every bearing from the reel to down at the drag system. Pretty much the whole entire reel got a walk through, looked at, made sure everything's holding up the way that you would want a reel to, and that's exactly what I saw. The components were all nice and just the way that they should be. Now, I've looked at many different aspects of both of these reels, but one thing that we haven't dove into is price point. They're both very affordably priced, but they are a little bit different. The good old-fashioned Royale Legend comes in a mere $40. That is pretty good for what you're getting. In fact, it's a little bit underpriced in my opinion. I use this thing for big swim baits, big baits, my big Alabama rigs, and it has held up flawlessly for the past 4 years. 40 bucks in my opinion is awesome. Now, whenever you come over here to the Royale Legend Elite, it's a little bit different. You're getting different stuff, different components than you are with a regular Royale Legend. Like I said, this thing is color coded. You get different gear ratios, so it's going to be a little bit more. You've got more going into the reel itself. This one here comes in at around $80. This is, like I said, the Royale Legend Elite in the Rage Red. 8-to-1 gear ratio, a little bit faster than in the predecessor, the good old Royale Legend, the OG, the first one of its kind. This one is revamped. It's a little bit different. Like I said, you got the gear ratios changing up and everything, so it's going to be a little bit more. I use this one for flipping, pitching heavy weights, jigs, Carolina rigs, all kinds of stuff, offshore stuff for the most part, and this thing has held up just as well. Both of these are really good reels. I highly suggest you checking either of them out. You know, if the Royale Legend Elite's in your price range, go for it. It's a good reel. If you're like me and you started off with something a little bit cheaper just to test the water on KastKing's reels, then the good old Royale Legend is the way to go. I hope this video brought you some insight on both of these reels. They're very different. They're also similar in a lot of ways. Both of them are extremely good quality. After 4 years of use, I've still got the original Royale Legend rolling by my side, and I'm sure that the Royale Legend Elite's going to be doing the exact same. I want to thank you guys for watching this little reel comparison video. Links in the description for anything you guys need to know, and I'll see you guys later.
Subscribe to the KastKing YouTube channel too. Learn new fishing tips and fishing hacks. Watch how-to fishing videos and fishing gear comparisons. See new KastKing fishing tackle reviews. Hear interviews with fishing personalities. Enjoy a constant flow of new content from the KastKing Pro team. Don't miss announcements about these topics. Subscribe now to youtube.com/KastKing. Click the subscribe button below.